Terral Jackson, better known as TJ, owner of Perfect 10 Productions. How you doing, man?
Absolutely great, man. Glad to have you.
I'm glad to be with you. So, tell me, there's a lot going on in the capital city right now. You've been in the game a long time, and some controversies going on concerning a wonderful event that you've done for the last 12 years. This is 13th year of the Black and White Affair. Give me the history and the background of why you started the Black and White Affair and the history of what it's been.
Well, I thought it would be an interesting thing to do, like in, I want to say 2002 or 3. Well, it was 2002. I thought it'd be an interesting thing because Diddy was in the Hamptons doing this big white party, and you would hear about a lot of white linen parties and this and that. And at that point in my career, I was relatively new, 2-3 years old, and I just wanted to do something different. So I'm like, okay, you got the white party. Well, what about a black and white party? And the first thing, that was the absolute first thing that I had ever done. And it was phenomenal, man. We held the first one at the Camelot Club, and I mean, the attendance was incredible, the participation was incredible, and the only thing about that, the first 2 or 3 years we did it, we had like 97, 98% participation as far as the theme. I mean, of course, everyone had on black and white, but I wasn't as strict as I had become in recent years, because you'd have some people come in and ladies would have on all black with a gold belt, or with green earrings, or little pops of color. And a lot of times I didn't think it was to be disrespectful. That was just their way of accessorizing or whatever. But I started looking at those pictures, man, and I was like, man, it looks so much better if we just eliminate everything. So one year I just went out on a limb. I said, this is it. We're gonna be very, very, very strict. And I used to hear about Diddy at his Hampton parties, and I used to hear about people trying to slip in with things on other than white. They had to go get tablecloths and wrap themselves in, because he wasn't playing.
Right.
You had to have on all white. Everything was all white. You had somebody at the door checking, and white, white, white. So I said, man, this year we gonna get our Diddy on. If it's not all black, it's not all white, you can't come in. And I was kind of crossing my fingers. I'm like, man, I might have gone too far. They might, they really might be, resistant of that. But when I tell you, man, that was the best one to date, to that time, man, because it just increased the ambiance, it increased the demand, it increased the picture, the photo quality, and it was just amazing to see how everyone looked, and how creative people got, just trying to utilize those two colors. And from then on, man, I said, I'm sticking with it. That's it. So that's one of the biggest stigmas about the event, is that it's mandatory, number one. And number two, it's no exception. We don't play games. We have and every year when I'm advertising, I put it out there, even if you have a ticket or not, you won't be allowed in if you're not properly dressed,
right,
especially with the dress code. So, man, it's just one of our favorite events to do. We usually house it at some of the nicer, most elegant facilities in the capital city, i.e. the Camelot Club, Boudreaux's, the Renaissance Hotel on Blue Bonnet. We've done it at the Atrium several times. We've done it at the River Center twice. And it's always just successful, man. It's taking on a life of its own, man. People really, really look forward to the event every year. And it's pretty much, especially in this city, next to Essence, it's the event of the South in the summertime. So,
So you've been doing this 12 years.
Yes, sir.
And it's consistently grown. And so this year, 13th anniversary, 15th year in business.
Yes, sir.
You're stepping it up, going back to the River Center, because people were saying that was a great experience when we came to the River Center. So tell me where things kind of turned.
Well, the whole story with the River Center, my last event there was 2009. And I've always had excellent events over there. I think just about all of them have sold out, and that's, people like going to that facility, man, because it's typically a concert venue, so it's a multi-purpose facility, and it's a great place for Baton Rouge. This year, Rhonda Ruffino and myself, we bumped into each other. I might have been at the River Center for a concert or something, and then later on I told her I was gonna come see her during the week, and we kind of talked about it. And she was like, man, you need to get back in here. We need to get you back in. And, it's fine, because Rhonda and I have an excellent relationship. And to be honest with you, I have an excellent relationship with a lot of people at the River Center. But, you know, we kind of earmarked the date. I said, well, I'll probably do my black and white over here again. So, you know, everything was good. That was maybe February or so. So I penciled the date in. I actually penciled in 3 dates. The black and white is typically always the last weekend in June. But one of the stipulations that they gave me this year was, well, you know, they kind of got a little situation with parties, so we need to do more so of a concert or at least a hosting. We got to have talent on the bill. You can't just be a perfect 10 party, because I'm not known for having talent at my events, especially at this event. I mean, you know, we bring people down to Allure, or, you know, every night for homecoming, we bring a lot of big talent. But the black and white is taking on a life of its own. We don't really need talent for it. And people always support it. But I'm like, okay, well, this year is my 15th year anniversary back at the River Center. I don't mind getting talent. You know, I had a couple other people I was playing with. So what I did was I held 3 dates because I figured a lot of the A-list talent that I wanted to bring, they're always in LA for the BET Awards on the last weekend in June. So I said, well, after that you got Essence, and after that people recovering from Essence. I said, well, let's put the 18th down. So this is my first year ever. It's a lot of firsts for me. You know what I'm saying? Back to River Center for the first time in a while. Pushed it in July for the first time. You know, it wasn't on last weekend in June, that kind of thing. So we marked the date. So I reached out to some people, and I'll be honest with you, one of my first choices was Fabulous, because he's a guy, you know, that kind of speaks to my demographic. You know, he and I are exactly the same age. He's been in the game a long time. He's a phenomenal artist. He has an extensive body of work. He's very fashionable, and he hasn't been here. So everything about the black and white, he just speaks to it. Right. You know, so I was gonna get Fab on the show. So we actually reached out. We had Fab on the books, and you know, he was ready to roll. And then I believe, you know, Boosie and I have a personal relationship, and his brother and his family, we're all good. But I believe once they saw that I moved the date back, his brother and his manager, Takora, reached out to me. He was like, hey, I see you pushed it back. You know, we're available, man. You know, Boo want to get on the show. I'm like, well, no, Boo want to mess with black and white this year. I'm like, all right, well, cool. He want to come down, he want a section. He's like, no, he want to get on it. So I'm like, oh, all right, well, that's perfect. So I kind of thought about it. I said, you know, Boosie, he's the king of Baton Rouge as far as, you know, just the music and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, anytime he and I merge our brands, it's always magical. We always do a couple thousand people. So I said, this makes absolute sense. So I wound up rolling with Boosie. I went ahead and paid him, got his deposit straight, got his drop, he ready to roll. But it just so happens that Fab was kind of lingering. I got a retainer out on Fab, and I'm still going to bring him to Baton Rouge. But he was kind of dragging his feet. He had his baby and some other things, so we didn't finalize his contract. But at this time, I'd already put out there via social media and on the radio that I'm making my announcement on this day.
Right.
So I had to make a move. So I'm like, well, look, what I'm gonna do is I actually missed a day. I went on the air and was like, look, I'm gonna finish up tomorrow because I was gonna give Fab another day. So what I did was I went on the air the next day and like, well, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna give him one until we got more coming. So I announced that we back at the River Center. I announced it's the 15th year perfect 10th anniversary. My partner Squeak, Roderick Shannon Roy, he's celebrating 10 years in business. We got 25 years between us. Got a lot of athletes coming down. It's gonna be big. And you know, for the first time in a long time, we got Lil Boosie coming home, and he's gonna be hosting the show. We're gonna do a couple songs, and we're gonna kick it. Not even a full-fledged concert. Boosie's gonna be hosting, right? So when I dropped that on the radio, I mean, things went haywire, man. Like. The energy just got electric. Everyone was talking about it. I started selling sections like crazy.
So it was the right move.
It was the right move.
Right.
I mean, it was just a good fit. And then even the drop I had for Boosie, you know, he was on there saying that he wanted the whole city to come out and get clean. And you know, all the marketing and the advertising I used with him, he was dressed in a suit, his shades, haircut, clean cut. It wasn't what you used to seeing, because you know you're gonna get a street edge when you get Boosie on it. But for this event, I even told him we had that kind of relationship. I said, "Boo, everybody gotta get clean, man. You know, even you." He's talking about dressing up, and at that time I still had Fab on the show. So I said, "Now you know Fab can dress now." You know, so we kind of clowned. He said, "Oh man, he gonna make me go to the tailor. I might come, you know, whoop de whoop." So everything was good, man. We rolling, ticket selling, and I thought about it, man. I was just like, "Hey, I just table Fab. You know, it's going strong tickets hadn't sold this fast in recent years.
Don't mess it up.
Which is, don't mess it up, number one. And number two, I save that bread.
Right.
Just to be honest with you, I don't want to have to spend another $35,000, $40,000 on talent if I don't have to. So it made sense, man, and we were rolling. So we spent our radio money.
So let me ask you, with the River Center, Boosie was in the contract.
Oh, no question, man. I mean, you got to realize he's documented on the contract. I had to let him know who my talent was. Boosie's in the contract several times, and you got to think about it. He's on for all my people that bought tickets. He's on the ticket that they printed through their Ticketmaster hub. It said starring Lil Boosie and friends. So it wasn't a secret that he was coming.
So fast forward to this week, because Black and White is supposed to be tomorrow,
yes.
18th, and on Wednesday, earlier this week.
Well, what happened was, typically with the event, and we don't throw parties, it's more so production.
Right.
So, I mean, you're looking at a lot of sound and lighting. You're looking at decorators. You got furniture. You got to be written. You got to bring in furniture, greenery. You got to do layouts of where the bars are going to be, all that kind of stuff. A lot of behind the scenes stuff. So the week leading up to the event of this magnitude, I'm in there pretty much every day. So I came in Monday. I'm checking on ticket sales. I met with my representative from the River Center. Tuesday I came back for something else, and Wednesday I was going to meet my decorator that evening. But my representative from the River Center called me that morning, texted me that morning. He's like, hey, you have your insurance and stuff? I'm like, yeah, we got all that. You have, well, the GM wants to meet with you this afternoon. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. So he sent me a few more texts back. Well, what time can you be here? Need something a little more concrete. And I'm like, early afternoon, man, 1, 2 o'clock, she's 2 o'clock, fine, okay, fine, I'll see you then. So I did get a little alarmed. I'm like, oh, Lord, what's going on now? Because I've never had a successful event without some type of snag. Right. That's just part of the game, part of the business. So I was like, okay, well, you might be a little snag in the carpet. And honestly, I felt like it's typical. I felt like they were going to probably bump up my security. That's what I thought it was going to be about there. Oh, you got Boosie on the show. Well, the city or whatever is worried about that. So we're going to make you have X amount more officers, which is usually unnecessary as well.
So for people who are not in the business, let's talk about, you pay for lights, you pay for sound, you pay for security, you pay for talent, you pay for the venue, and advertising.
So you keep that tail rolling, bro.
Right.
it's everything.
That's at least 6, 7 things right there.
Yeah. And you got so many, when you say advertise, you got so many different outlets. You got radio, you got graphics, you got a graphic designer, you got a website, you got e-media or other outlets or Rouge Collection that you advertise through their sites or whatever the case may be. It's so many different outlets when you're dealing with advertising. Advertising alone can run you up to 10 to 12 grand.
Right.
So, not to mention if you get billboards, that's another cost a little more. If you run television through Cox, it's just a lot. But
you're taking care of all of those things, and on Wednesday, you get called into a meeting, and what happened?
Well, the general manager, he sat me down. It was the general manager, the box office representative, my guy, and another manager were in there. And they were like, well, Mr. Jackson, we're sorry to tell you that, we originally were going to call you here. We had some security concerns because over the past 24 to 36 hours, we've had a lot of calls from City Hall about your event. I said, okay, I'm used to this kind of stuff. What's the issue? It says, so we initially called you in here to talk about some security concerns. So I'm like, okay, I figured as much. Basically, to myself, I'm saying I figured this. So they said, well, we're talking about some security concerns and some things we were going to do to bump up security and add some more wanding people here, or add some more people downtown, add this, or add some more people over here. Okay, cool. He said, but about 30 minutes ago, I got a call from City Hall, and folded his arms like this and said, we have to cancel your event. Wow. So I just kind of smirked. I'm like, okay, that's not acceptable. So let me explain something to you, sir. I'm not going to be arrogant with you at all, anything like that, but I'm not your average promoter. I'm not your average citizen, and this is flat out unacceptable. I'm not going to just take this laying down. I know people, so you're going to have to be a lot more specific with me when you tell me that City Hall. Who in City Hall? Who in the city police office? Because I know people in all these places. Who is it specifically? Who from City Hall did you talk to? Well, it's from the mayor's office. Who in the mayor's office? And he kind of hesitated and said, well, the mayor. So, okay. I said, well, you know, at this point, I'm texting my attorney. You know, can you get down here? 5 minutes later, he appeared, and they explained the same thing to him. He expressed his extreme disgust, and, you know, expressed, well, it's just disbelief at this point. You're going to tell me 72 hours prior to my event, I got $50,000+ on the line, not to mention 1,100 tickets out. You know, when you add up the tickets that were sold, the sections that were sold, and the comp tickets like the radio and all that kind of stuff, we had 1,100 tickets out there. They're giving me a capacity of 2,400 people. So, you know, we well on our way to a sellout, just being honest, because, you know, our demographic and our market
wait till the
last minute to buy tickets. So we over 1,000 people, you know, 3 days out. So Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, it's going to go through the roof. But man, you know, we were just in disbelief. So from that point, it was like, if it's the mayor's office, we're not even parking. We're gonna walk right up there. We left out of the River Center, walk straight up to the mayor's office, 3rd floor. He wasn't in. It just so happens they were in council meeting. They were all across the hall. So, you know, they talked, and basically the mayor let it be known that, hey, I'm not budgeting on this. That's how it stands. I'm not worried about any backlash. You know, that's just kind of what it was.
So, for me, when I got the text message that this happened, the first thing I thought about was, you know, a situation that we had a couple months ago where we went through something like this, and automatically I know all the emotions that attach to that. But you're putting so much more on the line. As a businessman, how did that make you feel?
To be honest with you,
and
man,
a citizen of the city.
Yeah. To be honest with you, the disbelief. Everything was happening so fast because I got this lawyer. We talked about our course of action for the morning, trying to get an injunction filed, and you know, I'm ripping and running. I got to make announcements on radio. I got to tell people. Then it intensified it around 7 o'clock when Ticketmaster started sending out emails to people that bought the tickets. So that's the part I hated, that I didn't get to tell my patrons myself, because I'm a very, very, you know, I have high integrity. So if you hear from anybody, I want to be the one to tell you. Don't send out an email, you know, saying that this event has been canceled. This is how the process of you getting your refund. So I felt kind of jaded from that standpoint. Like, man, I didn't get an opportunity. I felt like they stole that from me. So I went ahead and just conjured up a little statement, put it on my social media, and that's what we did. And you know, from there the calls poured in, and everyone was just asking the obvious question. Come on, man, did you have a contract? Like, of course.
Right.
You know, well, how could they do that? You know, and I started all the normal questions where did this happen? Did that happen? And I started just telling people. I had to cut people off. I said, look, man, if you're looking for logic in this, stop, because it's no logical explanation. So that's when it just set in, man, that it was just basically hatred. It was just wrong, man. I don't even want to play the race card or the discrimination card. We can do that all day.
But let me ask you,
it's wrong.
Have you heard of any other event in the capital city at the River Center being full like this?
Absolutely not.
Especially not. Had all kinds of Elton John. How many in attendance?
10,000, record breaker.
10,000 in attendance at the Elton John concert. No security concerns, but alcohol was sold.
Same thing.
Same type of event. People do the same type of thing. So, what then happens when you're trying to plan what to do next? You know, what was your mindset?
Well, my first thing was, man, I'm gonna take this line down. It's utterly unacceptable, and by the powers that be, and you know, I'm still a citizen. I'm still a man. I'm still a husband, a father,
a taxpayer.
A taxpayer, and it's a city-owned facility. So, no, my whole thing is fight. You know, at the end of the day, you know, this thing still may be salvaged, or I can at least move the venue, at least.
So what happened when you tried to move the venue?
You know, with 2 days out, most things were booked. Honestly, there were 1 or 2 facilities that were available, but I think we had some staffing issues that they couldn't do it. And I do know the process of that, owning bars. You have to order alcohol and get staffing and all that kind of stuff. But to be honest, one in particular, and I won't name them, but I feel like had every opportunity to house this event and make a substantial amount of money that they wouldn't have seen because they were open, which means no one had it booked. And I could have just easily switched it to this facility, but I got some resistance. And earlier today, I just told myself, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to switch it anywhere. I'm not going to rush because all of the decor, all of the furniture, all the sound and lighting was designed and laid out for the River Center. And for me to switch it at the last minute, it'd be a disservice to my patrons. You know, it looked like I was going to be rushing it. So what I'm going to do is they don't want me to have it. I don't want them to feel like they're winning, but you know, we'll handle it on another level. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go home to my comfort zone. We just save your black and white outfits. We're going to do it soon. We're going to let you know the date, and we're going to release the information soon. But as far as the event on that Saturday, the 18th, we're gonna go home. We're gonna do it at Allure, and we're just gonna party and celebrate, and have a good time with, you know, several hundred to 1,000 plus young, professional, the same demographic that was gonna be at the black and white event, like we do every single Saturday, man. And you know, we'll live to fight another day, because when I got resistance, you know, at this point I am emotional. At this point I am having all types of thoughts. I'm feeling like, so why should I bless you with my crowd? If there's any type of resistance, that's just like if you're starving and somebody offers you a plate. You gonna deny it? You gonna turn it, or would you say, let me think about it? No, you wouldn't do that. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. That's what you do.
So do you feel like, what do you feel this says to young African American business owners in the city?
What I feel like it says is that you can operate your business freely. You can you can have a lucrative business. You can have a lucrative company. Just don't try to step on our toes in any way, shape, or form. And if you do, we'll remind you who runs things. And basically, your freedom or your business or your dollars or your taxes that you pay to us don't mean anything compared to our egos.
That was a blessing right there. So for you, what's the next step? What's the course of action? I know you can't really talk about the legal side of it, but you guys are going to do some things in that area.
Oh, we've definitely retained counsel. I'm very, very, very confident in my legal team. I'm very confident that justice will prevail, and most importantly, I'm excited. And I mentioned this on the radio yesterday. I'm re-energized, man, because when this tragic event happened, and I know I'm using that word carefully, man. It's not just anything swept under the rug or just a party. No, this is a tragedy, man, because I'm more concerned about the people in this city and the people that we entertain. Like, you know how many people were affected by this? Not just me. I'm not worried about the money I lost, the deposits I lost, I won't get back, and all that type of stuff. Yeah, exactly, man. People that I know specifically, barbers, beauticians, makeup artists, these boutiques with, that artist special stuff. Yeah, my close friends and family were flying in. We're flying in or driving in just for this event. Flights, plane tickets. It's just so much, man, that goes into an event of this magnitude. And for you or for anyone to just unjustly stop it, it's ludicrous, man. And it's unacceptable. And I mean, like I said, I don't want to play the race card. I don't want to keep dancing around discrimination, because at the end of the day, the word I keep coming up to is wrong. It's wrong.
And you take security serious.
Oh my God, man, we spent extra money on security, And speaking of security, that's another thing I like to shed light on with this city, man. The city police. I feel like we have an awesome police force in the city. But as a club owner and as someone that's been in the entertainment business in the city for 15 years, I see no reason why we can't, where city police officers are allowed to work extra duty at the malls, which is a public place, at restaurants, where alcohol is served and it's a public place. Why can't there be in nightclubs?
But nightclubs in certain areas, because you used to be...
That's an excellent point. How many bodies do you want to come pick up from a nightclub before you say, okay, well, let's pass some legislation? Because you look at all these other major cities, not saying it doesn't happen, but it happens way less frequently because most of these thugs are cowards, man. And you know, everything is sneak attack or when nobody's around. And let's be frank with you, man. They're not gonna respect, no matter what the uniform says. They're not gonna respect a security company as opposed to a law officer where they know they can go to jail and they can have a record, or they're at least gonna spend a weekend in jail. You know what I'm saying? Because Friday night, no judges are usually on duty, so you got to wait till Monday morning anyway.
So when you were downtown with the M-Bar, there were police patrolling on bicycles.
Oh my God.
There were police.
Horseback.
Right.
Bicycles, motorcycles, so units.
So you're not going to go there, but I'm going to go there. As far as discrimination, most of the, you at the time were, and now there are no African-American club owners on 3rd Street.
Oh no, yeah, I was the only one, man.
And so you benefited from the way the city has set up 3rd Street to be protected.
Yes, and to be honest with you, prior to certain establishments moving down there, I had issues with getting police there. And, you know, I can speak on it because they're no longer there. But, I mean, you know, I got a lot of police protection when the office came.
Right.
I begged for it prior to them getting there. When it was no this and no that, and they can't be this close to your door. But when the office comes, they're standing right in front of the door.
Right.
I mean, you got a unit, a patrol car sitting right in front of the door. At the end of the night, they come out, they can be drunk, belligerent, whatever they want, they get in your cars, go home, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, when I exit out the M-Bar, they're waiting. And, you know, they're going to follow you up to the ramp. I mean, follow you up to the interstate and pull you over. And it's disgusting, man. And
so when you were at the M-Bar, you did deal with discrimination?
Absolutely. Period. Point blank. And, I mean, you know, a lot of people, you know, had some phenomenal times at that place, man, and I did too. So when you get all this, man, I miss the M-Bar, R.I.P. the M-Bar, a lot of times, man, my close personal friends, they know I'm like, man, I don't want to hear that. You know, we did, you know, it was to the point where I had a great time there, and I feel like that was a great experience, man. I've got some memories that I cherish the rest of my life from being downtown at that place. But after a while, man, it's like, at what point are you just going to keep taking this? Man, that's fine, man. I proved my point. I've been here 5 years. So, you know, y'all can eliminate me from this equation. I'll leave. Y'all got it. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, yes. To answer your question, yes.
So business owners on 3rd Street, nightclub owners in downtown, they get protection from the police force that your business doesn't benefit.
Well, in my mind, if you go down 3rd Street on a Friday or Saturday night, I would like to encourage the patrons of Baton Rouge, just even if you're not going into any club, you're not going in any establishment, to just get in your car and ride. You know, what I want you to do is ride down Plank Road and ride past the Bella Noche, or ride past, you know, some of the clubs on Plank Road, and then get off the interstate on College, ride by my spot, and you won't see any police protection, you won't see any units. Not to mention,
so from a business standpoint, that means that promoters like Q, yourself, gentlemen with rags, that means you guys have to pay for more security than these other establishments that are down there because they already have city police in the area.
Absolutely, man. It's a great injustice. I mean, you know, and we've had our conversations privately, honestly, but when it gets to, I've never had a public platform. That's why I want to give you this exclusive interview, man. And I'm going to promote this myself. I want people to see this myself because it's time for our voices to be heard. I'm not belligerent. I'm not ignorant. I'm professional, man. I've been doing this 15 years, man, in one capacity or another. And it's time out for this. Why is it that we can't pay extra duty? And even I don't care if it's paying extra money. I'm willing to pay that because where I have to get four security company officers to patrol my parking lot, I can get one cop and have him in the front, and we spend less money and guaranteed to have less issues. My police department can secure 100,000 folks at Tiger Fest or Bayou Type Country Fest, whatever that is. If they can secure 100,000, they can secure my 2,500 or my 800 or my 600 on weekends at my club, or not my club, at Bella Noche, at Rags, at Cheers, at EXO, anywhere else in the city, man, as opposed to where other people are going. I have a problem with that, and my voice will be heard this time, and I need you guys to stand behind me. hold me accountable, and stand behind me.
Well, thank you, Mr. T.J. Jackson.
Absolutely.
For giving us this opportunity. I'm Gary Chambers, and this is the Rouge Collection.